Hey, hello everyone. How's it going? Hey, Daniel.
Hello.
All right. It's a pleasure to have everyone here. We're going to start talking about cohort number 3 for our Rektoff Security Bootcamp, which is really exciting. Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for attending. So I guess I will just go ahead and jump right in. So yeah, we're starting cohort 3 off pretty much 1 week from now. Right now, me and Daniel and Vlad, hi Vlad, on the back end, are already going through and starting to work on kind of narrowing down who exactly we're inviting into the cohort. And we wanted to have this call so that we can talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing with cohort 3 and also what Rektoff is in general. And also explore a little bit what it is that if you do want to join cohort 3, what's the best and strongest application that you might be able to send in, and also field any questions from anyone about pretty much anything whatsoever. So first off, I'll start it with, and I'll probably repeat this a couple of times, but we are actually increasing the cohort size this time around. So we're going to have more than 75, which is nice. We're jumping up to 125. So we are going to be having more students per cohort, which is exciting. And we're looking really forward to that. So Rektoff, essentially what we do is we are a company that's founded in Montreal, I guess, actually. Through the Solana ecosystem, actually, we were birthed in the Solana super team, where a couple of Solana partners are working with our founder Greg to essentially set up a proper security bootcamp so that we can upskill developers who already have some skills in development and want to explore the security world a little bit more. And out of that idea, Rektoff was born. And we've now done 2 successful cohorts with a number of successful graduates going on to do some pretty exciting stuff. And we're really excited to start jumping into the 3rd cohort. By the way, if anyone has any questions, please drop them in the chat. I don't know if we'll get to them immediately, but we will be getting to all of those questions, so go for it. And hi, Vlad. And yeah, so we're really excited to bring you guys cohort 3, and we cover a broad range of topics, focusing primarily on Rust security and building up, initial Rust skills that eventually lead into, a real security problem. Daniel, do you want to jump in a bit and talk a little bit about the curriculum as we kind of warm up over here?
Yeah, that sounds good. So I guess the idea behind what we're trying to do with this bootcamp, or at least what I aim to do with my module, and so Mario isn't here, but he has the second module, and I'll speak to how much I can on his side. But I am of the belief that you can't secure systems that you don't understand, and I think that we in the Web3 space have a lot of people who are excited and eager to code, to learn how to interact with systems, but maybe they didn't go through, what you might call a traditional schooling route. And so a lot of things might have got left behind in terms of understanding how the things like the programming language that we deal with, how a computer's memory works, things like binary, getting down to the low levels, all of these low level details, they kind of end up getting left behind. And you pick them up in some way, but I wanted to create something that really goes through and crash courses you through the comp sci side of what is happening actually, like how is a computer manipulating memory, what's going on with Rust, which of course is the big part of Solana, and to try and get you to understand sort of the base layer of what's going on so that we can then build on top of that to look at what is a validator process actually doing as a node in the network, and how is the SBF virtual machine interacting with that validator to execute our smart contracts, and what are the boundaries of what we can do with the language to observe behaviors that we would think you wouldn't be able to observe in a smart contract, and how can we sort of try to push the boundaries of that. So that's what I'm interested in teaching. And then Mario is he has a fantastic module where he himself is an incredibly experienced, and he, you know, how well he's done in the security space can't be understated. And so you get to have him teach you sort of his process and help you understand as a security person, like what does he do to go about investigating a new code base? How does he how does he use his time? His time is a resource. Where he spends his attention is a resource. And so he goes through and tries to figure out so he goes through these things trying to find bugs, but he's teaching you, like, what is he thinking? And because a lot of people here are coming to this with maybe no experience or limited experience, and so seeing someone who's successful go through them, you can learn a lot from that. And he conducts his module almost like an investigation, where he's actually, like, he calls them hunts. He's hunting for bugs, but there's always a didactic lesson behind that, which he does very well. It's a fantastic module.
Yeah, thank you very much. And yeah, Maria's module is very much fantastic, and it's also yours as well, Daniel. One of the things that we have quite a bit from a lot of our students is people actually going back and rereading a lot of the notes that Daniel will put together for pretty much any actual class and lesson whatsoever. We've had students all the way back from cohort 1 that are still double checking all of the notes that Daniel put together for each lesson. And that's just incredible. It's really cool because what we really end up seeing is a lot of growth. And ultimately, a lot of the students that we have they're really on a learning path, right? And we at Rektoff, we really want to help everyone grow within the Solana ecosystem as much as possible. So one of the initiatives that we're also putting together and that we have launched is the Rektoff Launchpad, which is essentially just a resource hub for getting more into Solana itself. And I mean, if you're coming from any of those resources, like that's a big plus for you on an application as well. Like Solana Super Team is one of the big reasons why we are here at all right now. And we would ideally, people who already know and understand that world are also, you know, strong candidates for us, because we can tell that you're more a part of the ecosystem, which is great to see. And we really want to bring more folks in and help them out along their Solana career in whatever way possible. That does include jobs. We do have a job program. I can't promise anything, but like if you do submit an application, we do have a couple companies that might be able to take a look at it and might be able to actually, you know, help out. So we are hoping to try to get some people, and we have successfully placed some folk with different companies, which we're happy about. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of students who do come in that are looking for a job long term. Most of them are looking to upskill and connect with a community and connect with some fellow students. We also just had a student come in and actually create their own security tooling. And I mean, Daniel had the pleasure of going over and reviewing it, and I'm going to have the chance to take a look at that later tonight, which is going to be exciting. Good morning. And okay, I guess we can jump in and start looking at some of the different questions that we have from the audience. So the first one, I'll say once again, so any plans to increase the cohort size this time? So yeah, there is plans to increase the cohort size. We're jumping up to 125. So that's great. And we're excited for that. I guess actually before jumping in directly to questions, one thing I should go over is probably expectations for students who are applying and who hope to get in, and what makes a strong application. Me, Daniel, and Vlad, who's on the back end, we are the three who are looking over who we accept. And I mean, we read every application ourselves, and then we give them a green light, or like maybe next cohort would be a better fit. So I'll keep it pretty frank. One of the big things that we look for is quality, and a bit of a unique application, right? Like in our actual like questionnaire that we send out for prospective students, what you're going to see there is like there'll be some actual personal questions where you're going to write down a bit of information and tell us about yourself. We read all of that, as well as like plans for post boot camp. Like those are we always go through that, and we always like go and check like, oh, is this a unique idea? Did this person just like enter the course description and chat GPT and kind of like generate an answer and just plop that in? We can tell. We very much can tell, and we do not appreciate seeing that. So if you are on this call and you did use chat GPT, at least make sure you edited the hell out of it and made it your own. Like, look, if you want to generate an initial answer and then you work on it yourself, fine. But we've seen every single variation there is about how great Rust is and whatnot from ChatGPT at this point. And like that is, we're going to skip right over your application if that's what you did. So do not try to write your blurb paragraph with ChatGPT. It doesn't need to be long or anything like that. We just look for like a sort of like sign of life, a sign of authenticity, a sign that you got some idea of how you want to build within the community, how you want to build within Solana, how you want to just kind of grow and build with Rektoff. And a lot of the time, the applications that I see where it's like, this person is clearly like thinking about what he wants to do, thinking about where he wants to grow, and knows that like Rektoff is going to be a good part of that. Those are really the applications that we end up looking through, which is nice. Also, like we usually look for like one to like at least a little bit of coding experience beforehand. There are some other boot camps within Solana that might be more suited for anyone who's just getting started on their journey with coding, and like that would be like the Aki School of Solana. They're a great place to start, and a bunch of students from the School of Solana are actually going to be joining, hopefully, our cohort 3, which we're excited about. And what we're going to pretty much, we're really looking for, don't submit anything using ChatGPT. Make sure to actually write your own answers. And also, if like we have had like another thing, if you've resubmitted a few times and like you put on your application like, hey, this is the third time I submitted, that's dedication right there. We love to see that, and your odds of go up by like a huge amount, because we want students who are attentive. In classes, this so often that Daniel's actually there chatting with students for another half hour after class is over, just because they have so many questions, just because there's so much to do, and questions.
If we wrap up quickly,
yeah.
If we wrap up quickly, it might be an extra half hour. Sometimes it's an extra hour and a half.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's pretty impressive, Daniel. And
something that I might if I might just add something in there. I do sympathize with the students who feel like perhaps they don't have the English skills that they wish they had when they're writing out the application. And so they like to use an LLM because it makes well-formed English. And I understand that. I will say there isn't any problem in just writing, like communicating, like if you have like not the best English, that's not going to hold you back. Like if you're still communicating like your ideas really clearly, I think that's fine, right? I've
Yeah, that's fair.
never had a problem with that.
Yeah, no, you are right there, and that is a necessary clarification as well. I think more what I'm trying to get at and really trying to hone in. Yeah, you're right. Like if your English is an A1, using it to fine tune your English, that's totally fair. Um, it's more like I think at this point we've seen every variation of like Rust is cool and I want to learn it, which is fair. You know, Rust is cool and you should want to learn it. I mean, why else would you be here? Um, yeah. Anyways, so that's exactly the type of things that you need to know for actually going through and kind of raising the bar on your application. If you have submitted, it's okay to resubmit. I think we do favor a little bit the more recent ones. So yeah, so come in and do it. It's a 6-week boot camp. Make sure that you have the time in your calendar to actually be able to do it as well. That's another thing that we really look for, because there is a decent bit of work involved and there is a decent bit of classes that are kind of there for you to like grow and learn in. And we would really like it if you attend them. And that's really important for the in Solana. Okay, so I guess we could also, there's a question here that we have. Hi, is there any guidance on the best way to format GitHub repos that we can submit to get accepted in the bootcamp? Daniel, what do you think?
I guess not necessarily. I must say that there's a lot of applications. Like there really is a lot of applications, and whether we're diving like deep through all of your GitHubs and stuff like that, I wouldn't worry about spending any extra time on being like, now I'm gonna make my GitHub perfect. Like, just like Lucas is right, we do read through every application, but in that, I will confess I am not going through everyone's GitHub. I just don't have the time. Now that doesn't mean that I'm not looking at people's GitHubs. Like I do, and I go and I look, at some stuff there and get a bit of a, let's just say, a vibe check. But don't overthink it. Like don't worry about that sort of stuff. Like I could tell you like spend time doing this or that or whatever. If you're already keeping your stuff in reasonable order so that you can do a project, like I'm sure that's perfectly reasonable.
Yeah, and if you have anything that's like explicit in your GitHub that you want to like highlight, feel free to write it in the description. And yeah, regarding like the small answer, like 4 or 5 line description, but like it's useful, it's quick to the point, it's easy, it's good to read. That counts for a lot. And yes, in cohort 3, we are providing 125 spots, and that is much more than cohort 2. We're very happy about that. The Solana Foundation has been really good to work with on that, and we're really excited for the opportunity to be able to grow and build the next couple of cohorts, starting with cohort 3. And yeah, so really like maximizing your chances of getting in. Just once again, if you do want to resubmit, maybe there's more in your application, or you just really, 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 really want to get in, just say that when you're applying as well. Like dedication really counts for a lot. And what's most important to us, bar none, is really just having students that care and that are interested in. Yeah, sorry.
I said, and participate earnestly.
Yeah, absolutely. This really, it really, really, really counts for a lot. All right. So, yes. So, will you guys start reviewing people after the form ended? We are already reviewing people. Me and Daniel have already been going through, and we're going to continue to go through. So the application will be closed in 5 days. So that's at the 10th on Saturday. From here, that I do believe that is the final day that we are leaving the cohort 3 open, but we're going to start pretty much coming up with our list of potential applicants much earlier than that. So, by the way, if anyone has any questions, okay, Fuyo. Okay, hi, I forgot. I applied. Yeah, sorry.
I can see one question there from Jeevan.Sol that I might just go out straight away because it's a general question. It's security is a must and most important. How does AI impact the industry as well as the bootcamp? That is a really good question, because that does affect me and Mario, like at our side of things when we're going over it. So there's kind of this two worlds thing with AI. It's hard for educators to know whether or not how much influence students are having if they want to just go did you understand this if you did not have AI? Like, how do we do that in a situation like that? So instead, we need to just go accept the fact okay, well, you're going to use it. So how well can you use it to get to a solution? I think that for the sort of questions that I make, I haven't really seen. I think that AI often misleads you more than it ends up helping you for the stuff that I do. I feel like if people just thought about it and did it themselves, they would end up more so in the right direction. But for Mario's thing, look, that something has happened over the last two cohorts, which is that he's got a lot of AI submissions, which it's like the same as if you submitted it to an audit platform. If it's just what I'm going to call AI slop or just not well thought through AI responses, that's a burden on him to look through because you're not really demonstrating any knowledge. You've just asked an AI, what can you do? That's not what you understand. But of course, you got to use this to get to an answer. In my opinion, no matter what you're doing now, AI is there. It's a tool. Use it. If you can't figure out a way to make it save you time, and that includes it giving you the wrong answer and you having to filter through that stuff. But even with that in the calculation, if you can't figure out a way to make it save you time, you're probably asking it the wrong question. There's a reason why this is the biggest boom thing going on right now. So you got to leverage it, but you can't lean on it because then there's points taken away in that sense, and that will be in every aspect of your computing career probably.
All right, thank you very much. So we actually have a few questions from Twitter as well. So one question: would this bootcamp help people who want to be, but not necessarily in the field of Solana or blockchain in general? Daniel, what do you think?
Hit me one more time with that.
Yeah, no worries. All right. Basically, the question is, will this bootcamp help people who want to become better Rust developers, but not necessarily in the field of Solana or blockchain in general?
Yeah, 100%. Certainly my side of things will be, and that's because the approach that I'm taking is I'm saying if we just, my belief is if we don't do the programming language theory Rust side of things, and we just step on top with the security layer in the application space, which is essentially what Mario's doing, that's fantastic, and you will be able to find success there. But I believe that people do better at going through this stuff when they have the best mental model possible, and when you can take away as much things as black boxes. So I'm really trying to show what's going on under the hood, and that is literally at the programming language level, and at the at the level where we're looking at what is memory, what is virtual memory, in address spaces and this sort of thing, and how does that get managed. And this is stuff that will help you in all avenues, not just Solana. But of course, I then, in the last two lessons, I tie that specifically into Solana, because that's the part that I'm trying to demystify, is what's going on with the Solana validator and SBPF virtual machine.
All right, awesome. So Another question that we have that I will take is, what is the biggest change or newest features for Cohort 3 comparing with Cohort 2? So Cohort 2 was a bit of a testing ground for some things, including automated assignments, which we're now happy to say are in pretty excellent shape. Cohort 3 is going to be larger. That's going to be the biggest fundamental change that we're going to have, which is essentially that we're accepting another 50 students into the mix. Not only that, now since we basically have the bootcamp 100% fleshed out as much as possible, going to be less late nights of me and Daniel trying to filter together some material. What we're going to have is just a really nice experience for students, and really hoping to improve the student experience overall. It's already pretty great. I mean, what you'll get is when you're in is access to a Slack channel that all of your fellow students are going to be in. That you're going to be able to chat with them on a broad range of topics, and people do send stuff in the chats all the time. Like there's a lot of time that there's new security developments or things that are going on. There will be chatter about that, like from students sending things and different engagement from student. It's good to see. And Daniel's actually onboarded some of our former students into working and contributing to some different open source repos pretty recently, which was cool to see. And that's
I'm trying. It's hard to find time to do everything. I feel like I'm letting them down more than I'm helping them, but I'm trying.
You're doing a great job, Daniel, I'm sure. All right, so next question. Would I be a good fit without any prior Solidity knowledge?
So wait, so is that without any Solidity knowledge? So I mean, I think that's fine. Okay, when do I think you'll have trouble? If you haven't been exposed to Rust like at all, yeah, you're probably going to have a bit of a hard time. If you haven't been exposed to like what's going on with blockchains or smart contracts in any ecosystem before, yeah, you're probably going to have a bit of a hard time there too. Now, these aren't insurmountable things that you couldn't get over, but like there are obstacles in the way. And here's another thing that ties into something Lucas said earlier. Definitely, as I go through applications, something that I'm keeping in mind is I want to have like a bit of diversity. Like I don't want to just choose all of the same people. Like I want to try and have things pretty mixed throughout the globe. Like, you know, every continent has some people. I want to have some people who have done 8 years of Rust, some people who have done 5 years of Rust, some people who have done 3 years of Rust, some people who have done this is their first year of Rust. And I will say I'm pretty sympathetic to the idea of you want to bring beginners in, because those people who have done 8 years and 5 years and stuff, although there's less of them that apply, but you know they already had a lot of time to learn things, and I think that new people really need the most help to get started, and I am sympathetic to that. But in terms of like if you've never done programming, I don't know that we would choose you. Like, you know what I mean? If you haven't done, like, if you don't have any of the criteria, I think that Lucas, me, and Vlad would all be in agreement that it's like, this probably isn't the boot camp for you, because it's going to get technical. So, yeah, it depends. But not having done Solidity specifically, that doesn't matter. Not knowing how blockchain stuff works at all, yeah, that sounds like it's going to be a bit of a hurdle.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, so a question that we missed. Sorry about that, Fuyo. Hey, I applied to this cohort, but forgot to mention the fact that I graduated as top 20 from Super Devs. So that's an indicator. Yeah, go ahead and reapply if you feel like it's necessary. Obviously, don't spam our forum. And I know that you're not going to. It's just that if
Please
anyone
don't spam our forum.
Sorry.
I said, please don't spam our forum.
Yeah. But you didn't, so like don't worry about it. But feel free to go ahead and mention that. Yeah, like if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, that's like really a big thing that I should include in it that I haven't included. Like that's good. And it's like things like super devs, like which is, yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, this fellowship from Super Team India. Those are things that we really like to see in an application, because it shows that you're already within the Solana ecosystem, shows that you're within the community, and that you're really looking to grow. And ultimately, we're here to help grow and build Solana and grow and build the Solana ecosystem, because they've really given us so much. Like, we can't stress how grateful we are to the whole like Solana foundation for just allowing us to be able to give this program from the get-go, and we're excited to be able to kind of continue building with them.
Big ups Solana.
Well, yeah, one big change actually for that I'm remembering right now that I didn't mention is one of the things that's going to happen is we are going to focus a little bit more on enterprise level stuff as well. We're still figuring out exactly what that means, but our target is really to help train security researchers and security-minded folk with a focus on enterprise-level security within the Solana ecosystem. And we're still trying to figure out exactly how we're going to be delivering that, like in addition or in changing with our sort of regular. It'll probably be pretty much the same bootcamp, but we're going to talk a little bit more about what it is to kind of exist within an enterprise. But this is a big thing that we're going to try to focus on more in this upcoming cohort. So that's exciting. By the way, if anyone has any more questions to ask us, please drop them in the chat. I think I've covered all of the questions that I've seen so far. So yeah, so if there's any more of them, please comment.
Or if we missed one, re-ask it.
Yeah, please, very much so. And yeah, ultimately, like I'll kind of repeat it again, just because I really want it to be clear. So admission requirements are very much that, and also to anyone who's just joining the call, hi, hello, welcome. So we really look for people who have a little bit of coding experience already. If you have done any accomplishments or achievements within the crypto world, please make sure to mention that in your application. That's pretty important, and we like to hear that. And we're still accepting, like, if you want to resubmit, if you're like, oh, this is really important and I didn't add that in, that's okay. Go ahead. And try to avoid generating an answer with AI. If your English isn't great, like, that's fair. But ultimately, don't try to put too much into getting a whole question kind of built up just with AI. And all right, so question from Fuyo. Go for it.
Sorry, just before we get to that question from Fuyo, I just see a couple of things in the chat that I want to address. First of all, Macrowang, were you part of the first cohort? I feel like I remember your name. And then almost as if like, by the way, Macrowang and 8-Bit Penis, you guys should definitely be friends just based on your names. And 8-Bit Penis, like, I remember seeing your application when Lucas and I were going through them a few days ago. And I wouldn't encourage you to submit again. Your application is noticeable by your username. In a good way, bro.
All right, so a question. It's a little hard to find vulnerabilities for the smart contracts I write myself. Do you guys teach specific frameworks for these things? And also, where do people usually work after completing the cohort? To repeat the first half of that question for you, it's a little hard to find vulnerabilities for the smart contracts I write myself. Do you guys teach specific frameworks for these things?
Look, that's kind of what Mario is going to talk about. Like his whole thing is the framework. I guess more so than what I would say a framework, I would say a methodology. He's going to teach you a methodology. And that's important. And maybe actually this is a good time for me to start. Oh, sorry, we're going to go halfway through your question and I'm going to start my rant. Okay, hit the clock. Let's see how long this goes for. We're not able to teach you how to become a security researcher to a point where you could just like step in a job, I guess. Like that's not the point of this course. This course doesn't make you a security researcher. It doesn't do that thing that is like, this isn't just, oh, you do this step and that's all the work that's done. We're going to teach you things about systems, and we're going to, more importantly than what we're going to teach you about those systems, we're going to show you good practices for how you can go about investigating those systems yourself. It isn't so much what I teach you about memory that is important, because otherwise if you forgot it, then you know, all the value's gone. It is, how did I show you how I was able to investigate and figure out what was going on with the memory? And then you'll be able to apply those sort of things yourself. Same thing with what Mario does. He's going to teach you a methodology for how to hunt bugs, and he's going to teach you how to develop good intuition. But once you have those things, your journey isn't finished. You then have to like hone your craft. You have to get good at being able to do these things. You have to practice. You have to, you know, it like everything takes time. This is one bit of experience to help you on your journey. It isn't the entire journey of like getting ready to be a security researcher. Okay, back to the second part of that person's question.
All right. So,
where do they usually work after completing the cohort? I think that the typical avenue, Lucas, you're going to have to fact check me here, but the typical avenue would be that people would then start doing like audit competitions, this kind of thing. I guess we don't really have a lot of purview for how many people go into the bug bounty space or something like that after this, because that stuff's usually a little more, you know, private in that sense. But we do see people publicly involved in the bug bounty space. In terms of like what kind of jobs they're like hoping to get, I mean, they're usually hoping to get Solana related security or developer jobs, right?
Yeah, essentially. What we provide, and we do actually, we have seen some students that have gone on and done specific bug bounty stuff too, which is nice to see. Like I've checked in with a couple of students back from cohort 1, and it's interesting to see the sort of path that they were able to bring themselves on. A lot of themselves do find themselves now with work in the Solana ecosystem. Having Rektoff on your job, on your resume, is something that definitely looks good and is something that people recognize. Like, look, we do have a job program that we are like going out and trying to connect people with work as much as we can. Because sometimes we do have people that come in and ask like, hey, are we able to hire some grads? And if there are some good fits, then we will kind of like help try to make those connections. There's no guarantees. We can't promise anything. But essentially we do what we can. So like I helped place another fellow student not too long ago with they were essentially like a vibe coding company within the ecosystem, and they're working there right now as a dev, and they had already completed a lot of dev work before that. One of the things that we also see a lot from students is essentially just kind of like work it. Like there's a number of roles that you can kind of like jump into a little bit easier after completing this boot camp. We do provide like a pretty comprehensive skill, like a pretty comprehensive like skill like report that you can use to add to your resume at the end of the program. And yeah, we're trying our best to help connect. Really, there's a lot of different ways to grow within the Solana ecosystem, and jobs and getting a job within the ecosystem is definitely one of them, and it's a very important one. But it's not something we can guarantee with everyone. So what we try to do for like students that were kind of on the tail end of the cohort, or who are looking to grow more within, is really provide resources to grow within the ecosystem itself. And a lot of that is connecting people with their local Solana communities, or even just crypto communities in general. I had someone who was asking a bunch of questions, and they were based in South Africa. And I have a friend down in South Africa who's a big part of the community, but it's the Bitcoin community, and there's a huge community for that down there. So I was able to connect him with a bunch of resources to be able to chat with more crypto-focused people in that area. And I mean, we do cater entirely and primarily to the Solana ecosystem, but I mean, we really want to help you guys grow along in your learning journey and along with the journey that you could have within the ecosystem. All right, so we have a question from Macro Wang. So recently, I spent a lot of time reading Rujira protocol code written in Rust. It helps me better understand the memory mechanism of Rust. Rust is really very powerful, more expressive than Solidity. Okay, I misread that. That's not really a question and is more of a statement. But
True
yeah.
Big ups Macro Wang. That's true.
Nice.
There was something that I feel like I haven't spoken to Mario since beforehand, but I remember something that he said on previous calls that I feel like would be a good opportunity, since there's an audience here now, to communicate. Which is, and I agree with it, so that's why I bring it up. Of course, the best thing that you can do in order to find success in security and all of this space, including in Rektoff and stuff, is to be disciplined and to be persistent. Mario would probably more say disciplined, and I'm more so say persistent, I think. But having having the discipline to actually sit down and go through material, and for me, something that I've experienced is having the persistence that even when it's hard and confusing and stuff, to keep going, to focus on, well, what can I understand? What can I do next to help myself understand what's going on with this? Do I need to write another program? Do I need to write another test? Do I need to do more reading? Do I need to go to the man pages? Do I need, what do I need to do? And like being persistent and disciplined. Those are the key things.
Yeah, those are it's absolutely true. Those count for a lot, regardless of anything. When does Cohort 3 officially start? That would be next Tuesday. So we'll have our town hall next week, pretty much at this time, like 1 week from now on the 12th. And then on the 13th of January is when we will have the cohort officially kicked off. So it's coming very soon. This is 1 week out from basically the start of the cohorts.
Is that 8 a.m. ET on Tuesday?
Yeah, that's correct. So the exact same time that this call began.
So for my fellow Australian and Asian time zone people, that will be Wednesday night. Oh, sorry, that will be Monday night. Excuse me.
All right, so we have a question. What is the best way to reverse engineer a Rust program, and what is the order of the programs to learn?
I might need more information to be able to answer that. So when you say reverse engineer a Rust program, are you saying that this is a Rust program that started as a Rust program, you've compiled it down to a target binary, and now you want to be able to lift it back, like reverse engineer it, back to what the source code was? Or are you saying that you have a Rust program as a Rust program? And so maybe a bit more clarification. And then what is the order of the programs to learn? Deep question that I don't think I'm prepared for, because I guess within the context of this cohort, I'll lead through just generic Rust stuff getting more and more complicated, and eventually we'll end up at the validator Rust program, like a Rust, like the Agave validator, and we'll end up at the SBPF virtual machine Rust program. Oh, okay. And then you had a correction for Solana. You know what? Honestly, what my answer is generally for things like this is the best order to learn things in is the order that you find most interesting. Ultimately, when you start to look into something, if you're not interested in it, you're not going to sit in front of it. You're going to get sick of it. You're going to walk away. So what do you find personally interesting about the Solana space and about like smart contracts or Rust programs in that space that you want to understand how does this work and you want to learn more about it, because that's going to be the least path of resistance for you actually sitting in the chair and you actually going through and learning how does that thing work.
Thank you very much. All right, so another question. Any suggestion on what to revise before the cohort starts?
Yeah, well, my module's up first, so we're going to start with the Rust side of things. So if you haven't done the Rust book before, it's not a bad place to start, is just going through the Rust book, as well as there is things like, I think it's called Rustlings. If you go to, what is it? It's rust-lang.org/learn. There's a bunch of, canonical tutorials and stuff like that you can go through there. That will be, I mean, you could do Advent of Code in Rust even. Like Advent of Code, this is a fantastic set of problems to just force you to actually just smash out the language. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Do we have any more questions coming in from the chat? We're slowly nearing, I think, the end of our time. We have a couple more minutes here, but we'll happily go over any other questions. Ask them now if you do have anything in mind. Until we have more questions coming in, I'm going to reiterate again the just kind of more information about the admission requirements. So if you haven't, and also some more details about just the cohort in general. So cohort 3 will be starting next week on the 13th, and all classes are going to be around 2 hours long. And they all start at the exact same time that this started. I don't know which time zone that you are. But we got a question. Is there a need to reapply after applying in the last cohort? So what I'll go ahead and say is that if you have more information, or if there's more things that you want to say about yourself, or if you're really, 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 really are like, I really want this and absolutely need this, please go ahead and reapply. We do look at the list from last cohort, though. Like we're not just looking at the list from this cohort, and we do look back.
Maybe something worth mentioning is like we have for cohort 2, we did run into a bit of a problem where we reached out to some people who applied like way back at the start, and some of those people, of course, answered and came in, but there were some people who they weren't really replying and stuff like that. So it's, I don't know. Lucas and me and Vlad, we have to figure out a better system, because we want people who applied over the whole time to be able to, but we don't want people to just be reapplying. It's we have to figure something out there.
Yeah, exactly. We'll talk about that more soon. But like essentially, if you have more information, go ahead and go for it. So and again, on admission requirements, try to like me and Daniel do read pretty much everything that comes in. And what we do is we always go ahead and look and go through all of the applications, and we do try to look for stuff that's a little unique, highlighting some real interest within the ecosystem, highlighting like something that kind of stands out a little bit beyond just the I like Rust and I think it's a cool way to kind of like grow on my journey. Okay.
There's a lot. Yeah, Sandahar just asks, I really want to get into the Solana ecosystem. How many applicants are there? Yeah, there's a lot, even just in the last like 3 days. Man, I don't know if you've looked at the sheet recently, Lucas, but I did, and like it's exploded again.
Have we gone over 3,000 yet?
I'm not sure. I don't have it up in front of me, but I remember looking at it being like, whoa. So Lamsey Tech, you say I applied for the first and second cohort, but not picked. I mean, there's a lot of people that are in that bucket. The thing is, 75 students for the first one. We were north of 75. We ended up accepting more people for the second one, but just the number of applicants, the number of people, like we've added in a lot of things to try and make it so that we can have more, which is why we have 125 now. Like we want to be able to teach everyone. Like we're not trying to gatekeep learning. I mean, obviously, since we're doing it, but we have to be able to actually handle the amount of students. So unfortunately, there are people who apply but don't get in, and it's not because we're trying to hold anyone back or anything, but there's just so many people that apply.
All right. So we're pretty much reaching the end of the time that we kind of set aside for this. Do we have any final questions before we wrap this up? Give like 2 or 3 seconds for that. And also another fun thing worth mentioning, like me and Daniel are both when you're in the Rektoff Slack, there's always someone online. Me and Daniel live pretty much as opposite, like on the exact opposite ends of the world. I don't know if you can get more opposite than pretty much exactly where we are.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm over here in Montreal and he's all the way over in Australia. So big difference there. Other hemisphere and other side of the world. So there's always someone online on Slack, and we're pretty responsive, and we're always chatting with the folk there. All right, so I don't think we is there any interview or any sort in this? No. So what you'll receive is an email. In that email will be a link. And if you don't click on that link in like a quick enough time, essentially you're going to get it over the course sometime at the end of this week. And you'll be able to kind of join the cohort through the end of the week up until about Monday, or up until we hit the headcount capacity. So if you go in and if you go into the email and you click on whatever link that we're going to include in there, and you're going to see that you're not able to join, that's probably because we'll have hit the actual overall capacity. So make sure to monitor your inboxes. We're going to try to be pretty quick with it. The idea is to get it out ideally, I think, like by Monday for sure. Like Monday is going to be the final day that we're going to send out applications. And I mean, Tuesday's 100% the first day of classes. So yeah, so you'll get an email. So, all right. So what else do we got here? So thank you everyone for coming. It's been a pleasure to have you all here, and to, okay, we do have one more question rolling in. Daniel, how do you feel about another question?
Oh, bro, I was born for questions.
All right. I'm a bug hunter from Web 2. Would you think this would be useful? I feel like I have.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, sorry, just even at that, yeah, 100%. That's like the perfect kind of person to be getting into this already. Sorry, go ahead, Lucas. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, that's fine. I was just adding the rest of the little bit of question, but I think that's the primary thing. So go for it.
Nah. You I can see the rest of it. I feel like I have started learning Rust a little late based on the amount of friends I know who are in the space. Don't worry about it. All good. If you start categorizing what you're going to do based on whether or not you're late, then what's going to happen is you're going to wait a few years, and then you're going to be like, geez, I wish I had done that a few years earlier. So just don't worry about stuff like that. Like if you're interested in it, and obviously don't start once you realize that like digital cameras are going to take over the world, you don't start buying up all the film. But you still, but if you're interested in something, do it. So it's not too late to learn Rust. You have a fantastic background as a bug hunter from Web 2 to already orient yourself well in the space. So yeah, get into it, man. You're a prime candidate.
All right, another question. I just started my web dev journey, almost completed my JS. Should I apply or skip for now?
JS is in JavaScript. What's JS?
I assume so. Yeah, JavaScript.
Should I apply or skip for now? when you say started your web dev journey, I'm going to assume that your application is going to be more on the least experience end. Something that I'll say is we have a lot of people on the least experience end who have applied. So, I mean, don't ever not apply. Like, if you want to do it, you got to apply. Like, you got to throw your hat in the ring. You don't get anything because you stood on the outside, but you know what I mean? It's yeah, there's 125 spots, unfortunately, and there's, you know, over, I mean, what are we up to? Maybe 3K people, so it's going to be hard to, yeah, there's going to be people who don't get in. That's just reality.
All right, so I will once again attempt to like slowly close this off. Thank you very much, Daniel. So yeah, if there's any more questions, drop them in the chat. I'm gonna have maybe about another minute or two before I go through my little closing script. So, so yeah, thank you guys all very much for coming and joining us. It's been a pleasure to have you all here, and I hope that you're able to learn a little bit more about the application process, what Rektoff really is, and what we're looking for the next cohort. If you're in here and we see you in the next cohort, well, we're very excited to see you there, and we look forward to saying hi. And please feel free to kind of like reach out and ask any more questions. If you do have some, we'll do our best to answer them as much as possible. And we're very excited. Me and Daniel are kind of doing a lot to get as ready as we can, and we're going to have more details and information for you guys coming at the end of the week. So thank you very much, everyone. Oh, and also thank you, Macrolite. One of the things that I will say that we also appreciate and really respect is kindness, and also just like a general, just like good disposition from the people.
Go kindness.
Oh yeah, it counts for a lot. So thank you for all of your thank yous and your politeness. That really is nice to see, and something.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you guys very much. Have yourselves a wonderful rest of your day, and hopefully we will see you in cohort 3.
Yeah, thank you for your time, everyone. Appreciate everyone turned up.
All right, ciao ciao.